Hey guys, thank you so much for hopping on tonight. I'm really excited. I'm really excited about Monday. I'm excited about this week as we are filling our minds with new information on this ultimate portion fix system, right? Many of us obviously have used the containers before, and a good way that my sister put it in our 5-day event was, it's like watching a trailer for a movie and you get excited, right? That's really what we've been doing for the past 5 years. We've been just watching the trailer with the containers, and now you get to watch the movie, the entire movie, right? So this is what we've been waiting for this entire time. Another way to put it is, a lot of people have been asking, for multiple of us that have been using the containers for, 4 years, 5 years, whatever. We've been asking, the first question that, came up for many of us, even for me, was, well, what's the difference? I've been using these containers, right? And they work. Like, what are you going to teach me that I don't know? And in reality, right, all of us have been using these containers not knowing. We know they work, but we don't know why they work and how they work. We just know that Autumn said to, eat this amount throughout the day, and it was going to work. We trusted her because we trust Beachbody, because we know that they have the best trainers, they have the best nutritional programs. And so we said, well, if they're saying it works, because we obviously have thousands and thousands of transformations to back it up. And so that's why we said, well, we're gonna trust her. But now we get to, watch the videos, with these workbooks, and we get to understand why they work and how they work, so that now, we're not trying to, guess when someone will ask us a question, when we're teaching it to our families or our friends, or if you are a working coach, to your challengers. Right now, you'll know what to say to them, and you'll be knowledgeable on it. And it is a lot of information. It's a lot of information to digest in one sitting. So if you're a note taker, then obviously take notes, because they give you the summaries right here, but I'm a note taker, and it statistically it shows that if you are taking notes, you're going to retain the information better anyway. But you're going to have to go back. You're going to have to go back and watch some of the videos, because it's not going to all sink in, right? You're going to have to go back to watch it again, and also then put it into practice. One of the videos that really so far has been very impactful for me has been the addictions one, right? To the one that we're eating like all this sugar, right? 254 pounds of sugar or something like that. It was like a crazy amount of sugar. And for our kids are eating 14 teaspoons, 152 for us pounds a year of sugar. And to see it, right, it's insane. But we don't know. If we don't know what to watch for when we're buying our foods, then we don't know that we're putting all that sugar into our bodies. And then our kids, right, and they're so hyper these days, and we're questioning, why the heck are they jumping, through the walls? And it's because, we're feeding them the sugar. So knowledge is power, but it's only power if you use it, right? So tonight I wanted to talk about just basically how the group is going to be set up. Also, we're going to be talking about some of the things that I'm going to mention. Many of you guys have heard, because if you've done another Beachbody program, because it is the same foundation in terms of, what the prep work is going to be in order to be successful. But also, this is a little different because we're watching videos, right? We're learning, and we want to be able to, if something doesn't make sense, we want to come together as a team to make sure that we are all on the same page. So something different that we're going to do is every Wednesday night at 8:30, we're going to get on like this. we're going to get on like this so that, you know, we're following the foundations of the program, but we're also touching base with each other to make sure that it is working. The good thing about this program is that, you know, you're gauging. One of the things that, what's her name? Isabel Zeichler said on the National Wake Up Call 2 weeks ago when she was talking about Shakeology, with something very simple, but actually something that many of us don't do. And that was to check in with our bodies, right? Many times, just like this program, Autumn said it works. And we were like, this works. But we're, you know, and we saw, right? Obviously we see the changes, right? But one of the main things that we want to see or ask ourselves is, you know, how do I feel? You know what I mean? How does my body feel? Am I sleeping better? How is my mood? Am I going to the bathroom better? Right? So those are the questions that we're not asking ourselves. And really, our body is the machine that tells us if it's working, right? If something's not working, it's like insanity. You keep trying, but your body's telling you. So we need to really listen to our bodies so that we know that, you know, the system is working. So checking in is important so that if we're stuck, if something doesn't make sense, if, you know, if maybe anything, you know, if you're having trouble with something, we know we're not waiting 30 days to figure out that there was an issue. We're going to be, you know, circling in. And I think that, I mean, I think many of you guys know, but I am motivated by interaction. So this fills my cup. So if you're anything like me, you're going to enjoy the calls. And then obviously, you know, there's a lot of people missing tonight. You know, I'm going to record and I'm going to post, but as they hear this and, you know, every Wednesday night we're going to meet, then you can bring your challengers if you're a coach, right? Bring them on so that they know that they have a community to fall back on. Because for me, throughout my entire 5 years, what has kept me here is the fact that I know I have other people to count on and also other people holding me accountable. Because seriously, like if I knew that no one was watching, I'd probably be like, oh, I can sleep in, or, you know, I'm gonna have like the whole bottle of wine. But I don't, because, you know, it keeps me accountable.
Yeah, and knowing that there are other people involved makes you really stay on top of, am I really eating all of the containers? And I just want to mention one thing, and just being together like this, also make sure that we're being honest and vulnerable with each other. You know, at first glance, these containers don't seem like a lot of food. And once you put them together, they seem like a lot of food. And probably the number one thing that I hear from my challengers is that I can't finish all that food. So it's really important as you start this to be honest about which plan you fall into. Because, you know, most people think like, I want to just do plan A because that's the least food and I'll probably see the fastest results if I'm eating, you know, just 1,200 calories, and that's doing your body a disservice. So make sure that that formula is there for a reason. Like Autumn said, she's not making up these numbers. The formula is based, you know, it has scientific backing about why you do need to eat that. And then, like, I get it. It's scary. Like I watched the pregnancy videos already, and just looking at how much food I'm supposed to be eating is scary, but then I know that that's what my body needs. And when you trust the results, when you trust the process, you're going to see results. So it's important for us to be honest with each other here about where we are, how we're doing in that journey. And like Gabby said, you have to really listen to your body, because maybe you do need to bump it up and you're fatigued and you're hungry. You know, when you start something new, because we're so used to just like eating when we're feeling anxious, or like if we have kids popping extra stuff in our mouth, which are usually calories that we never track. But when we start this and we know like I can only have, you know, these containers, sometimes just like the anxiety of not being able to grab something extra gets to us. So it's that the beginning of knowing, okay, I'm not hungry, I'm just anxious, let me drink a little bit more water. Or I am hungry, I'm fatigued, I can't get through my workouts. And then you chime in with the group so we could help you to see what you're missing and how you can do better.
Yes. And one other thing that I think, you know, you nailed it, was the check-ins they're going to help us with overcoming our own struggles, right? Because maybe we don't know like why we're stuck. And then when someone else mentions like, oh, I've been struggling, blah, blah, you'll be like, oh, wait a minute. That's what's happening with me, you know? So being vulnerable and honest, I think is going to be the key and very important. So let's cover like the basics, because I know that we have new people that will be doing the Ultimate Portion Fix, and this is their first time doing a Beachbody program, so it's important to go through the basics. So the expectations of the group are the same as any other program, which is our private group is private on Facebook. The only people who get to see it is the people in that group. That's it. Right? So it's not going to be on your feed. No one else outside of your circle is going to see what's happening in there. The other thing is that group is there to hold ourselves accountable, hold each other accountable, not just, you know, and what I think in one of the videos, Autumn says, right, the days that you're feeling good, go in there and motivate someone, right? Cheer someone on, post, because there are people who are waiting for your posts, for those sweaty pictures or for your food posts, right? So that, you know, you get ideas as well as to, you know, what I should be eating or that kind of stuff. And not only that, when you post and you think you're eating something that is in the plan, right? One of the coaches is going to catch like, oh, wait a minute, you're not supposed to be eating that. And they'll call you out, not to make you feel bad, but to make sure that you stay on track and that you stay on plan and that you know how to make better choices. Someone who catches all those things is usually Wendy, so I appreciate her for that. But that's important. It's important to know why, you know, what we're eating and why certain things are good and certain things aren't. All right. So posting is important because not only is it going to keep you on track, but also it keeps other people on track. It helps motivate other people. I know that I love to see the feed, you know, moving, because that means that you're doing what you said you were going to do. You're working out, you're eating healthy, and staying on track. You're being committed, etc. So that's
getting ideas from one another too, because sometimes like I'm the type of person that I could eat the same thing every day if I know it's working for me. But then, you know, Autumn just told us it's good to switch it up.
right.
So then I could get ideas from you guys. So we all help each other along the journey in that way.
Exactly. So that's one of the reasons that this group is important, to stay accountable. As I mentioned before, that's exactly what has kept me accountable for the past 5 years. The fact that I can count on you guys, you know, not only when I'm feeling, you know, good and I'm in high spirits, but when I'm struggling, right? This is the community I come into. So especially on the hard days, those are the days that you got to come into the group and post and ask questions and ask for support, right? I'm at work and they just brought a whole tray of bagels. Help, right? So it's important to stay connected. So definitely posting daily should be a requirement, because that's what's going to help you get results. It should be a statistic, but it is, right? I don't know the numbers to the statistic, but I can tell you that the people who post, the people who show up to the group are the people who are getting the results, because those are the people who are committed to the process, right? So make sure that you are posting all the time. All right. The other thing is we are, I think the majority of us, or if not all of us, will be taking part of the new 21-day fix when they reshoot it, starting April 1st, which is Monday. And then we get a week off. Doesn't mean that we get a week off. We're going to all do a week program. And then we're going to jump into the 21-day fix extreme, right? So what do we have to do in order to gauge the progress, right? We are going to take the before pictures, which is front, side, and back in your workout gear or a bathing suit. You can do both. You don't have to post the bathing suit pictures if you're not comfortable. You can do the workout ones, but that's going to help you gauge your progress, right? The other thing is your measurements. You're going to measure your your chest, your hips, your waist, your arm, and your thighs. And I'm going to post those videos to help you guys if you've never done it before, so that you can do that. And what else? Oh, and you take a picture of the scale. And the scale, you want to do that at the same time, typically every, if you do it every week, then let's say you do it on Saturday mornings, make sure you go to the bathroom, you empty out, and then you go and you wear the same clothing, same time. So, if you're weighing yourself at 7 a.m., one Saturday, and the next Saturday you're doing it at 10 and you already ate breakfast, it's gonna affect the results. So make sure that it's at the same time, usually at the same day, etc. Why? Because you can't just gauge your progress on one of those measurements. It has to be the whole picture. It has to be the pictures. It has to be the measurement. It has to be the scale. It has to be how you feel, right? Those things are all important. So do that on Saturday or Sunday before we kick off on Monday. The other thing that I want to encourage you to do is prepare, right? Go food shopping, guys. First of all, let's start with saying prepare by doing modules 1, 2, and 3. That's important because if you've never used the containers before and you don't know what path to take, you need to know what path you're starting on when Monday comes. So make sure that you have gone through modules 1 through 3, taken notes, and if you have questions about which path to take, we're going to talk about the paths very quickly. And if you guys have any questions and don't understand, then this is your opportunity to ask the questions. But making sure that you do watch those before Monday, then going food shopping on Saturday or Sunday, and preparing, right? Preparing is like what's going to get you results. It's not half the equation, it's the entire equation, right?
And not to mention, sorry to interrupt you, Gabby, throwing out all the junk in the house.
Yes.
And don't keep it just because of your kids. Because remember, part of this is healthy eating for the entire family. And I've seen memes before like that you got to get rid of the junk, but first you got to eat it all. Like, don't do that this weekend. Don't do that this weekend. Make sure that that's out of the house so it doesn't tempt you,
Yes. Carolina types in, go food shopping with a list. That's important, right? That's why it's important to know which plan you fall under, which path you're going to follow so that you know what you got to go to the supermarket for. So definitely, preparing is going to be key, because if you're tired and you did not prepare and you are starving, the first thing that, comes to mind is what you're going to have. I'm going to go for pizza. I'm going to go buy that burger. So if you want to be successful, take the time to prepare. One of the things that I hear a lot of people talk about is, I don't have time to prep. I don't have time for this. I don't have time for that. And we, typically it's true. It's true. We, the way we live our lives, we don't have time, right? But you got to make the time. If you want results, you got to make the time to make sure that you have results. Guys, I can't remember who I was speaking to. And actually this conversation happened twice this week. And it was exact same conversation, two different people saying, oh my God, I just didn't have time to prepare my food, and, my job is consuming and I have to do X, Y, and Z, and, I'm working on the weekends. And my response to that is, I get it. But if your health is not, priority, and you get sick, what's going to happen to your job? They're going to replace you. Period. End of story. They got to keep that business moving. And if that doesn't include you, that doesn't include you. So you have to take care of yourself to then be able to take care of your job, of your loved ones, of your family, right? You come first. So, people get at least one day off. That's your day you go food shopping. That's the day you prep your meals so that you are prepared to succeed. All right. So So I think I covered, right? All those are the basics. The taking your pictures, your measurements, your scale. You're going to post those in the group. I'm going to post this week. Probably tomorrow I'm going to post the video so that by Saturday and Sunday, you know how to take your measurements and all the, fun stuff. And again, for some, taking those before photos is challenging and it's hard and it's difficult and we don't want to do it. But guess what? You are going to be thankful that you did, because then you'll have a measurement to gauge, how far you've come. Audrey talked about her transformation this week, Monday. Her husband took a picture of her in a bathing suit after, was that your first baby or your second baby?
After Ashton, yeah. Mm-hmm. My first.
So, and then she's like, I shouldn't have been in a two-piece, but I'm glad he took that. And I'm glad I didn't I didn't get rid of that, because now she's come so far and she's able to pay that forward, because she's like, look, I was able to do it, and so can you. So as hard as those pictures are, they're so important for your journey so that you can gauge, how far you've come. So those pictures.
And make sure that the lighting's good. We get a lot of pictures that it's like, it's like you from the knees up, or dark lighting and just not a good picture. Like Gabby said, it's really scary. It's very intimidating. It's very sobering to take your before pictures, but have them in good lighting. Make sure you're in it head to toe in an outfit you can wear again after some time on this program, because you don't see week by week how your body's really changing. That's why all the measurements are important, because the scale might not move, but in a week, you could take pictures again. You could be like, wow, look, my waist is coming in a little more. And look, I lost like half an inch on my arms. Mm-hmm. So you're going to hate them at first, but then you're going to wish you had more before pictures. So you could be like, oh my God, look at my hard work.
Exactly. Okay, so moving on to, I'm going to post those videos, so it'll show you how to take good pictures as well. Because I know it's difficult for some people. They're like, I don't have no one to take my pictures. Do the timer on your phone. That'll be helpful. All right, so I'm excited about continuing to use the containers. One of the things that I want to say is I'm grateful for the containers, because honestly they've taken all the hard work that we used to do. When I did my first program, T25, with Shanti, I was doing the balanced macronutrients, but I was basically, measuring based on what he said, right? You have to eat this amount of healthy proteins and healthy carbs and your healthy fats. And I had to weigh and stuff. Now I have the containers, I just fill it in, and they've done all the math behind the scenes, and I'm grateful for it. So make sure that, you understand that they have done so much for us, and, obviously understanding why they work, but knowing that they have saved us so much time.
Yeah,
all right.
There's such a big group of nutritionists behind Beachbody. I remember when I was in one of the test groups and we were coming up on the last week, and of course everyone wants to see like their abs and all the muscles popping after the end of a program. And there were people in our test group talking about like, yeah, I think I'm going to eat less. And the nutritionist had to hop in there and they're like, guys, having better results is not about eating less or restricting more calories. It's just getting cleaner on the list. So Autumn mentions that if you look, for example, at your yellow container, like the top of that list is like what, sweet potatoes, quinoa, things like that. But there's people that want to have like whole wheat toast, which is okay. It's on there, but it's lower on the chart. So if you want to see better results, make sure that you really pay attention to what's on the top of the list. That's going to do, eating from there is going to do so much more from your results than like you feeling like you have to restrict yourself. And I just look at Wendy. Wendy eats every day. Then we can have abs like Wendy's.
So before moving into making sure that you do every single exercise, on the workbook, because they've mapped it out for us in order to be successful. I want you to, I'm sure that everybody already went through this, but I just want to point this out, which I said, the most impactful video was the food addiction one. Guys, 70% of Americans, adult Americans, and 33% of kids in America are overweight or obese. She's right. This is a big problem. This is an epidemic, and this is a health crisis. And we have the tools to stop it right now. I know me, for example, in my family, I can give you a list of health issues that, you know what, it ends with me, because I don't want to be about that life. You know, I want to make sure that my son, you know, only knows this, healthy. You know, he'll wake up and he'll say, he'll either find us working out, or if we're done, he'll say, you guys worked out already, right? So he knows about veggies, and he, you know, and he used to eat them, and, you know, he's in that picky stage, but he's starting to taste them now, you know, because I think he's outgrown it, which I'm very happy about. Before he would be like, you know, make faces, but he knows how important, you know, certain things are, because we talk about it. So we want to lead by example. So, you know, so important to really just pinpoint and remember those figures so that, you know, you stay strong within this process. Which transitions into your why. Guys, do that exercise. You got to do your short-term goals. You got to do your long-term goals. Yesterday's day was about posting your why. So thank you, Jessica, for posting your why. We are all supposed to be posting our why, because guess what? That why is going to stay there on day 2, so that when it gets difficult, and if you go missing, we're going to go find you with that why, right? So it's important, because you have to, you know, reference it, because you're going to have easy days, and then you're going to have challenging days. And during those challenging days, it's very, very important for you to know what your why is, all right? You can. I saw that, Kenya. It is being recorded. So your 3 paths, guys. So I've done all of these 3 paths throughout my 5 years. So the first one that I did, obviously, was the foundational fix, which is, you know, the one that is very flexible. You can have your wine, and you can have chocolate, and you can have Nutella, and you can have pizza, right? It's very flexible, because it's a way of living, right? It's no restrictions. And that's what I love about this, that, you know, we need to understand that we have to eat all of those containers. So we shouldn't be scared of any of the containers, because our bodies need all the nutrients from each food group. So it's important to know. So I've done the foundational fix, which is what you always, that's baseline, right? That's home base. You always go back to that. If you want to start there, that's totally fine. But you don't have to start there, even if you are a beginner, even if this is the first time, you know, of you seeing the containers, etc. I've done the time nutrition when we all did 80-day obsession. And that's what I'm doing this time around, because I got really great results. And pairing the containers for each food, for each meal is the best. You're going to get the best results, right? So in the foundational one, you're basically pairing it as you see fit, right? As long as you're eating all the containers, you're good. One of the things that I want you to keep in mind, if you do the foundational fix, is that if you struggle with veggies, don't eat all your veggies in one sitting. Oh, let me eat this big salad so that, you know, all my veggies are out the way. She speaks about it. Look, how many, and let me tell you something. That's something that I learned from watching the videos. I was one to be like, girl, just put a big salad or put all those greens in your shake and do it up. That's it. You done for the day. But no, then she teaches us that if we didn't have this program, we would have known that, right? She teaches us that our bodies cannot process all of those nutrients from your vegetables in one sitting. So what's going to happen? Your body's going to absorb what it can, and the rest is going to be turned into fat. But it's vegetable, but it doesn't matter, right? So it's so important to spread out your containers. All right. So Time Nutrition, we've done it, like I said, when we've all tried it when 80-Day Obsession came out. And basically that's when you're pairing the, you're eating every 2 to 3 hours, but you're also pairing your containers accordingly, right? So she tells us how to pair it as opposed to us doing it. And then the carb cycling I did when I did 21 Day Fix Extreme. That is challenging. You can start with that, but she recommends that you only do it for a 3-week period and then you take a 3-month break, and then if you want to do it again, right? So that one is kind of like a mini diet because you are carb cycling. I mean, it's not crash diet because she's not removing carbs or fruits altogether. She's definitely, removing it during some days, but not altogether. So I got amazing results with that one as well. And I'm not going to do that again. I like my carbs. I'm just saying, maybe, she recommends if you have a wedding or you have a, vacation, but this is why. And I just want to point out that you don't have to do carb cycling if you're doing this for life, because you're prepared for life. You don't have to prepare for events. All right. So those are the 3 paths. Any questions on the paths? Everyone knows what path they're taking for, yeah? Type it in. I want to know what path you guys are taking with the program. What else?
Gabby, something else that she mentioned, which was new to me, was how not to leave the healthy fats for last and to always pair it with other food groups, because the way that it takes it in, the fat soluble, it takes in the vitamins better. So that was something. So like the healthy fat, the blue container and the orange,
yes,
make sure that you pair it with at least 2 or 3 other food groups.
Yeah, and she said that as well. She said we should be pairing all of our foods with 2 to 3 containers so that, your body is, especially the greens, right? So that the fiber goes into our system and we're able to digest it better and, use the bathroom better. But yes, definitely. Thank you, Wendy, for bringing that up. Pairing your containers is so important, not just eating it alone. So 2 to 3, and then the other thing is I'm notorious. I'm seriously not an 80-day obsession, because Jorge and I were like 100%. We did no wine, only, we only did like the cheats when we had the repeat days, right? But those were approved, etc. But I was, besides 80 days, like I have a hard time with my orange containers, right? Not realizing the importance of that it's a healthy fat. It's a healthy fat and it should be eaten. I mean, obviously, it's in a small container, but it's the right amount that we need of that container. So they're all important. Even the teaspoons are important, right? So there's an importance to everything. And again, they did all the magic behind the scenes, so everything is important. Everyone said foundation. Let's see. Carb cycling, Jamaica. I'm done. Christian said, "Look at what is that? What you is that the path you're taking?" She said, "I'm gonna watch what Wendy eats and eat that." She's so crazy. Okay. So those are the main points, right? Again, make sure that you watch all the videos up to module 3. Finish up to module 3 before you start using the container, which means that you want to start using your containers on Monday, which means that you better get busy if you haven't watched any of these videos.
And just one thing, guys, as a good practice, why don't you post what you're thinking about eating Monday? So we could tell you like, okay, that looks good. Yeah, that fits your containers. Because when you sit there to like list it out, like especially if you're doing foundation, which is like freer, you might see like it's the end of the day and you still have like just your blue container left, you know? So just list out for us what you want to eat so we can look over it. And then once you just get the hang of it, then you're good to go from there.
Which I think ends up happening when you're following foundation and you don't prep your what is it? Your food, your calendar, your meal, your plan. I'm like, well, my brain is not working. But I think, which is what Wendy was saying, then like, you're like, okay, I've had like 3 greens already, and you're like guessing throughout the entire day, right? Because you're not prepared. You don't have a plan, your food plan. And then you're like, oh crap, I have an orange container left. What am I going to do? Have seeds, right? But had you planned and you paired it with something, then you're not going to be left with a container at the end of the day. So important to plan it out. We used to do that where we used to share our food plans before, depending on, you know, what plan you fall under. So super important to, you know, stay accountable with that. So share, because that way, like Audrey mentioned earlier, you know, everybody gets ideas from each other. Okay.
I was gonna just point out for anyone that's doing the time nutrition, which I just found out from watching her video, that she said that you can swap out the pre-workout meal with meal 1. And I didn't know that, and I was waking up at like 5 trying to get these carbs in and stuff, and then waiting. So it's a good thing to just definitely watch all those modules so you can plan ahead. So if you are one of those people that are working out in the morning, you don't feel obligated to shove your face, and you can, you know, plan accordingly and just have a light shake.
Yeah, you can have your shake. That's what I know that Wendy and Rudy used to do that. Jorge and I used to do that because I wasn't trying to eat all that stuff either.
Right.
The other thing, since you brought it up, Sulimat, is it just reminded me about if you're vegan or vegetarian, there's only 2 paths that you can follow, right? It's the foundational and it's the time nutrition. You cannot follow this carb cycling because some of those carbs are your protein. So if you are vegetarian, you cannot follow the carb cycling path. So very important to note that. Not only for, I mean, even if you're not vegetarian or vegan, for your, you know, challengers that you are helping in the future or now that are, make sure that you know that they can only pick from 2 of the paths. Okay. So thanks. I think just because you spoke and you're a pescatarian, it made me think of that. Okay. So any questions? I think we've covered, sorry. The other thing is for those who, are new to units in our challenge groups or new to our groups period, if you're, you know, posting from your phone, I think the majority of you guys are, when you go into our challenge group, there is a section named units, right? You're gonna fall on what's it called? You're gonna fall on the feed, like the regular feed. So you're gonna see everyone's posts, like sweaty pictures, food posts, whatever, blah blah. So as of Monday, it's going to start to get busy. You'll see that. But right now, I'm just posting the prep week posts. So please also engage in those. It's so important to stay engaged in those. But make sure that you go to the units. If, let's say, you know, as of Monday, things are going to get busy. To find my post, you can easily go to the unit section. Or if you want to reference something that, you know, maybe like later, like you're having a hard time and you want to go back to, I mean, your why should be here anyway, but let's say you don't have the book and you want to go back to what you wrote in the team, go to the unit section, you know, and then go to the prep week and then find, you know, that post, which was day 2. But all the units will be posted and they will be saved there. So make sure that, you know, you go there for reference if you need to or especially to find my post for that day. All right. Any questions, any concerns, any extra stuff that the coaches want to say, maybe for the new challengers, like what do you, you know, anything you want to say to them that's going to help them through the journey? You can unmute yourself.
I have something to say.
Go ahead, girl.
Okay, so I just got my package yesterday. Now I can start the certification, obviously, in my Beachbody On Demand, because I know everybody's talking about modules and the whole reading. So basically, is that something that we have to finish? I know we're supposed to start on Monday. Is that something we're supposed to finish by Monday, or each day you do like a different step? I'm a little lost. That's why.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
For the certification, I got my package yesterday.
Okay.
Which I opened the box, but I haven't really like looked at it. I know it has the workbooks and the modules. So all the videos that I have to watch are on Beachbody On Demand, right?
So they are under the nutrition tab.
Yes.
However,
okay.
Thank you for bringing that up. I will answer your question, but I just want to show. So also, you don't have to go to Beachbody On Demand app. You can actually download the nutrition app, and that will take you directly to all the videos. So there's two apps. There's the Beachbody On Demand, and then if you go to the tab for nutrition, it'll take you directly to the Portion Fix or, you know, the To Be Mindset, whichever, or both, right? But in this case, you can actually just download the nutrition tab, and that will take you directly to the videos, and you can watch them there. So for those coaches that are doing the certification, right, that you're also not only doing the videos to, you know, get the knowledge, but you're also doing the certification to help other people, there's two set of videos. So, right, so you'll see the videos for a challenger, right? And then at the bottom, you'll see the certification videos. There are two different calendars. So when I'm posting in the group, I'm posting not for the certification, I'm posting for the challenger. So you're gonna watch those videos, but then you're also, there's a different calendar for certification that you can follow so that you can stay on track, so that you're not like overwhelmed and lost or whatever.
Okay, thank you. That was my question. All right. Thank you so much.
So if you go under materials, you'll see both calendars.
Yes.
Yep. I will post the calendar in here, but I feel like it's redundant just because of the fact that I'm posting what videos to watch in the homework, you know, at the end of my post. So I just don't think that, you know, you need both.
Okay.
Find it anyway. The other thing is because you mentioned the package. In the package, there's a tracker, right? So important to use that tracker when you start using the containers, because that tracker is going to help you with everything, right? With not only tracking your foods and your containers, but tracking your sleeping habits, your mood, your water, your Shakeology, your performance line, right? It's going to really track everything so that week on Saturday, if you had results, you're going to go back and be like, I want to repeat that week, right? And then the next week, if you didn't have really good results, you're going to go back and see, okay, what happened? Because if we're just what's the word? If we're just guessing the whole time, then your results are going to be that basically, right? So make sure that you are tracking, because tracking is what's going to help you know what went wrong or what worked and what didn't, etc. So use your tracker.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Any other questions? No?
Oh, I was just gonna share for anyone that's new, because I'm fairly new, but I just want to share that it got overwhelming for me several times, to the point that it what's the word? Like it triggered my anxiety, which then later on triggered me to get depressed, because I felt like I messed up and I felt like I had to do it all over again. And you know, when you do so good and then you mess up and then you're like, oh, like you just start to beat yourself over the head. I just wanted to point out, like what Gabby mentioned before, like the group, it's really helpful, and it's okay to be honest because we've all been through it. You're going to have times where you're really upset, or maybe something else is happening in your household, or, you know, things just get really busy and you're like, oh my God, I wasn't able to get my meal and I already had it prepped. And then like for me, it's like the smallest thing. I'm all about timing. And when things don't go my way, my anxiety is just off the roof. So I just wanted to let you guys know, whoever is new, or even those that aren't new, that, you know, we're all normal, and I'm still learning that. And you'll see me post someday some really sad videos because it really does get to me, but I am working on that. And I just want you guys to know that you're not alone. It is going to freak you out, but you know, as long as you follow the plan and you just keep going, you will get the results that you want.
My sister's coming to say something.
That was creepy.
She was listening the whole time.
I was tuning in live and in person. Hi, everyone. So something that Sulima just said, like, immediately brought me back to salsa. So for those of you who don't know, I took about a year worth of salsa classes in a studio. And one of the biggest lessons they teach everyone, that no matter how many years you've been dancing, you are always a beginner. And there's so much depth to that. And the one thing, the way I would love for you guys to see it in this case is that whether you did this program 5 years ago, have stuck with it, have been on and off, or fell off, or this is your first time doing it, you can still grow from this program. Come to the table teachable and coachable. So many people come with myths or thinking they know everything because you've done it before. Come with on a clean slate. And come also with like beyond an open mind and heart, but also this doesn't have to be perfect. And this is not my permission or an excuse or a reason to use like, oh, but I'll have the cookie. Listen to all the videos and you'll see that you can have your treats, pero no te pase, mija. You know what I mean? Like you can have, like, this is the beauty of this program, that it's so holistic. This program, not just the containers, but this, what is it? Portion fix. Sorry, UPF. It's too long for me. So come to the table with an open mind, come to the table knowing that you are a beginner, and come to the table teachable, coachable, and don't be afraid to ask questions, to share with each other, and to lean on each other. In and on. Two things that you triggered right now. One of them is this program can be used with any fitness program. She does, tell you to follow the calculation for that particular program. So always keep that in mind, that if you are going to do, for example, Transform 20, use that formula to then incorporate, the ultimate portion fix. All right. That's one thing. The other one that I wanted to say is, I feel that, you don't compare, your chapter 1 to someone's, chapter, I don't know, 50, just to put a number out there. Be inspired by it, right? I feel that that's what you don't say, man, like, or even like two beginners that started the same day. If that person, one person lost in 1 week 3 pounds and the other one lost 5, you're like, I must have done something wrong, right? No, you cannot judge your journey or compare your journey to someone else's. We can learn from it and we can be inspired by it and motivated by it. One of the things I want to mention is that when I first started, I've never been into nutrition, that either, into fitness. Like just wasn't my cup of tea. Is it still my cup of tea? No. I just do it because I've created that consistency and that commitment to myself. Like that is my superpower. Like I show up. But was it like that all the time? Was it like that on day one? Was it, I can tell you, I was telling someone the other day, I can't remember who it was. My first 14 weeks with Beachbody, I was consistent AF.
Like, because I was committed to losing the post-baby weight. I showed up and I finished. And then after that, I was dabbling from program to program. And I never finished the program until I started to do the 21-day fix extreme. So I did I did T25, then I did gamma consistently. I mean, to the T. And then I was just like doing this here, there, whatever. And then I was like, no, like I'm a coach, for crying out loud. Like, I need to do this from beginning to end. And so I took 21-day fix extreme and I did it from beginning to end. And what I'm trying to say is that my journey has never been perfect. Don't expect it to be perfect, because you will fail. You will fail if you want it to be perfect. And then what ends up happening if you're a perfectionist like this one and like me is that if it's not perfect, then you're going to throw in the towel. Listen, if you had a bad day, you don't have to make it a bad week, and you don't have to make it a bad, month, and you don't have to make it a bad program. What I'm saying is, shake it off. If you didn't work out one day for whatever reason, because that might happen, right? Then show up tomorrow and read your why again. For me to show up every single day and finish program after program is because I had to work on that consistency muscle. It didn't happen overnight, and it won't happen for you overnight either. So just make sure that you stay at it, that you show up for yourself, that you have grace with yourself as well, because there are days that are going to be challenging, but that's why this group is here for you. And that's why I'm still here 5 years later. I don't expect it to be perfect for you, and you shouldn't either. Okay? Mic drop.
Right.
Anyone else? Are we good to go? No. I'm excited.
Just leave it at that.
I'm excited. I'm excited to work with you guys. I'm excited to see all the pictures.
Oh, can we take a picture?
Oh yeah, let's take a picture.
Look at Audrey. She's like, I'll tap. Girls.
Right. Smile. Everybody smile, except Sandy.
Send me that.
I said except
I'm done.
We be calling people out here. It's all with good intentions, with love. Sandy, I can't, tag you and stuff. I don't know what your face looks like. But guys, I'm excited. I'm excited for each and every single one of you guys, whether you're here or watching the recording. If you have any questions, put them in the group. That's another thing I want to just remind you guys. I'm here. The one thing, like if I'm your coach, you can hit me up privately. But if it's a question that someone can benefit from in that group, or someone else might have the same question, then post it in the group and tag me. Because as of Monday, it's gonna get crazy in there. So tag me so that I see it in my notifications. All right. Anything else? Yay. All right, guys. Have a great night. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Bye. Oh no.